When COVID-19 started, several of the ongoing activities of the Social Justice Committee were suspended. We planned to join the People's March in Washington and continue our support for the Sacred Heart's Men's Shelter, but we couldn't even meet in person. The pandemic threatened to isolate all of us. It placed jobs at risk and lives too, and it threatened to disrupt our ability to live normal lives. As a church, which has been a beacon of social justice in Brooklyn and across the country since before the Civil War, it was important that we respond to these momentous events that were rocking our city and our nation. We had to reimagine this ministry. The Black Lives Matter movement placed our church building at the center of demonstrations and conversations. In the early days of the movement, we began the work as a multiracial faith community, first with a statement denouncing the pattern of racial oppression from 1619 to the present that has recently resulted in the murders of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, among others, and calling for the reformation of criminal justice and policing in New York City. We shared an anti-racism action toolkit with members, neighbors, and friends to engage in a number of collective actions with the confidence that others in our uniquely diverse LAPC community were taking the same steps too. We built a memorial to affirm sacred Black life in the face of racism, white supremacy, and police brutality. When this memorial was vandalized, we decided to make permanent flags, which will soon be proudly displayed on our masts. It's the congregation's support that makes this work possible.
Throughout controversies within our country and the Presbyterian movement, our church progressed forward on abolition, the social gospel movement, women speaking from the pulpit, evolution, issues of American colonization and imperialism, church support for the arts, civil rights for persons of color, LGBTQ rights and ordination, just immigration policies, responding to Black Lives Matter, and ending mass incarceration. In the early days of the pandemic, our church created a mutual aid network to mutually support the congregation and the community around the church. Volunteers delivered meals, provided administrative tasks, and provided technical support to members who wanted to remain connected and to follow services on Sunday.
We are partnering with a bail bond project to get prisoners released from the COVID threat on Rikers Island. We are just beginning this project, and we are looking forward to helping more individuals, deserving individuals, be released from Rikers Island and freed from the COVID threat. We are also continuing to support two asylum seekers. One, a family from Mexico, and another, a young man from Guinea. Both of these young people, we're helping them with the legal proceedings, we're helping them with job search, and with psychosocial support. They are both currently working and on their way to becoming self-supporting.
We have learned a lot during these past 3 days. Our ability to help each other and to rely on our diversity, to reach our community around us, and to be enriched by it.
With your support and your financial help, we will be able to continue this very important ministry and go on. There's so much more to do. We were successful last year with partnering with community-based and faith-based organizations to get a key bail reform and discovery law passed, but that law is currently under assault. There's just so much more to do with criminal justice reform. And this next year, we continue to need help with asylum seekers, and there's an important election coming up in 2021.